Hello everyone, this is the BMW i5 and today I'm gonna try to answer the question, is it any good? I'm gonna look at the interior, at the trunk, at the infotainment system. We're gonna drive a bit, accelerate a bit and go on the highway as well. There are three versions of the i5. They all have the same battery, 84 kilowatt hours, 81 kilowatt hours can be used. The eDrive 40 is just rear wheel drive with 340 horsepower. Then this xDrive 40, which is all wheel drive, has 394 horsepower. And then the M60 with hatch has 602 horsepower. The first two versions can charge with AC 11 kilowatt, the M60 can charge AC 22 kilowatt. DC, they all have a peak of 205 kilowatt. The charging curve is very similar to the i4. WLTP range on this xDrive 40 with an 81 kilowatt hour battery is 464 kilometers. That's not astronomical. The trunk has the normal gesture control with the foot that it opens up. You have a button on your key, of course, and of course at the trunk itself. What is amazing that on the trunk you have also locked the car and closed the trunk, which I love. I say it all the time. The trunk is not very high but extremely deep, and then you have a second floor, a second compartment where the charging cable can fit easily. The rear seats, I'm sitting comfortably and it's totally fine. It's a bit straight up, but it's also okay. I have a bit of leg room, not too much, but I'm also tall. I'm 180 centimeters, 6 feet, and this seat is in my position, and maybe even the easy entry is on where it goes a bit back. I have a little hook here where I can put stuff, so they attach something like an iPad or something, and a USB-C here and two USB-Cs in the middle. So I have 4 USB-Cs in the rear and 2 in the front, and wireless charging in the front as well. Headroom, I have like this much, totally fine. This car doesn't have a panoramic roof. I don't need that anyways. I have nice buttons for the light. It doesn't seem to be extremely bright. I have an extra screen here in the rear for the climate. I can set my climate, seat heating and everything. And I have air vents as well. And of course a little armrest here that we need. Can I close this? Yes. Yeah, this is a comfortable position. I can go far with this. In the front seat, I can say yes, it was true. It is the easy entry. I'm a bit in the back. And there's easy entry with the steering wheel as well, because the steering wheel is electrically adjustable, not by hand. Which pros and cons, it takes a bit and you don't do it too much, but you can save the position of the seat, of the steering wheel and of the side mirrors in your user. And you can connect it to your key. So you get, if you connect your account with the key and you get in, it will go to your position. When then someone else is driving with a different key can also connect it, will go to their settings, which is awesome. To control everything, so seats and lights, in the beginning it's a bit confusing, and also the air vents that you open and close, there's a thing that you slide, so a little LCD screen from 0 to 1, how open you want it. The cool thing with the things here is that you have a settings button with everything. So here at the seats, where I have to can I set my memory seats, there's also a button where I can get into the seat options. The same here with the light, where I switch between auto and manual light. There's also a button to get into the light options, which is awesome. Screen is pretty cool, but we're gonna talk about it in a second. I have so much headroom, like this much. The seats are really comfortable. They have good side support, and when you put the car into sport mode, the side bolsters pump up and you even have more side support. I like that. How do you interact with the car? It's pretty easy. You can always do it on the infotainment system, of course, but you also have this middle console where you can do a few things. You have your little dial that you can push up, push forward, backwards, left and right, and change something, but you can also turn it and press it fully. Then you have your volume button, next, previous song. You can go into my mode where you can see your drive modes. You have a home button, you have your parking menu, you have your driver assist where you can then turn off lane assist and the speed warning, over speed warning right away. Media, telephone, navigation, backwards and home. So everything is here, and then you have your start stop button, your gear change, automatic handbrake and auto hold. So all of it you need is here. So if you don't want to go to the infotainment system, you can go it from here. To start the car, press the brake, start stop button. Then the steering wheel also moves in a different position that you have set, and then you can put it into drive or into B. In B you have more region, and every time you get into the car, or when you put it into reverse and then drive again, you have to set it in B again if you want to do that. Infotainment system is pretty easy. There's the map always here, and then here on the side you have different things that you can edit what you want to see, your personal assistant, and also different options here. Then I have Android Auto here, my phone, I have navigation, I have the map here. Let's go, what else we have? Where you want to go, position, and all of this, an extra map. Then you have your consumption and if everything is okay in your car. With the consumption you have from the start, from charging, individual that you can reset, and from the factory. So you have a number here that forever, that will always tells you, since you have the car for 2,884 kilometers, average consumption was 230 watt-hours per kilometer. I find it very, very cool. I like that. And then you have your weather and your date and time. And under here you have all of your different things: music, navigation, climate, home, all of your apps. All of your apps are here. You have a favorite menu too, and like I said, at the light, for example, there's a button to get into the light settings, and for the seat, you get into the seat function. The climate adjustment is all just here, and it's just the temperature. Everything else you have to go into a menu. So when you press the seat, you have your seat ventilation, seat heating, steering wheel heating, and if you want to change anything for the climate, you have to go into climate and then change your things. Where does the airflow go, and everything. You can change the airflow for the driver and the passenger. This is cool. I like that. So an Android Auto I have in here as well, which takes the whole screen, which is also awesome. I like that. So it's really done well. It looks great. Has a lot of info. The instrument cluster cockpit, it is also very cool. On the left you have your speed, and on the right your power, and you can have your speed here in the middle like I have right now. Of course, state of charge, range, outside temperature, time, and you can change it here with the content. Can be average consumption in the middle, your range. Then this is the assist system, the AR display where it shows you the camera from front and what car is for your distance and stuff like this. And if you have to get off, if you have navigation on, then your navigation, your map, and your G meter, which is very important, and your music, and that's it. And then you can change the design. It can be wider, a line, or just a bit narrow. And why doesn't it go to narrow now? And then the head-up display, you can also change what you want to see, different things, assisted view, navigation, nothing. What was and a reduced view? What is this? Oh, sporty, you can see what power you're using. I almost reduced because that's perfect. On the steering wheel on the left, I have my cruise control settings, so on off, set if I want to set the speed, or if I want to set a speed that the car recognized from a speed limit sign. Underneath we have mode, where you can set it between cruise control, self-steering or a limiter, and then of course minus plus button for the speed, and depending how hard you press, it will be 10 or 1 km/h change. The distance is not here on the steering wheel. For this you have to go into settings, driver settings here, button, driver settings here, drive, and then distance. This is now in German, it's fine. And then that's what I say. And then you can set it in 3 things, and then also that it should be depending on the situation, the distance, and it does it really well. It's a really comfortable and quiet ride, and you notice that very well. It's really well built and it's quality. For my taste, the steering wheel is way too thick. I don't like that at all, even though I have gigantic hands, so very long fingers. Not a fan at all. The steering is a bit heavy, but it's fine. It's a tiny bit direct, but also fine. I'm okay with it. The view, the head-up display is awesome. I can interact with the car very well. I like it. What I'm not a fan of is when it comes to power. So, of course, it has a lot of power, 400 horsepower, this xDrive 40. And it feels good, and you go into drive mode sport, so it's a bit more connected, so it's harder suspension, stiffer, and the power comes earlier and everything. There should be the, yeah, that's the overspeed warning. But to have full power, you still need the boost function. You press boost, and then for 10 seconds you have full power, and you also feel it in the accelerator pedal. So when you accelerate, have the accelerator pedal in a position that you drive a constant speed, and you press boost, you're accelerating right away, because this position means more power. And then when the 10 seconds are off, you're slowing down because it means less power, and that's annoying. So either the power is always there, or at least if I press it, there's no change in, it's just more power when I floor it, but not when I just drive. And I'm not a fan of this. And it was the same in the i4, no, in the I can't remember if the i4 was the same, but I know that the i7 was like that. Cruise control, just activate it here, and it's activated. And then with set, when I press set, it will set it to the speed limit, and in the infotainment system I can give it a plus/minus km/h number. So I set it to +9, so it sets it to 109 km/h, and this is awesome. This is what every car should have. It's amazing. So when I see a 60 sign, I press set and it does it to 69. It can do it automatically as well, but sometimes you don't like it, or you don't like that it does it too early and stuff like this. So I prefer to do it myself. And the self-steering is awesome. I showed it in detail in my 130 km/h video. So on the country road, you have to touch the steering wheel. On the highway, there's Assist Plus, and there you don't have to touch the steering wheel, but it controls that your eyes are on the road. So if you look away, you get a warning after 2 seconds, hey, your eyes are not on the road, and it works really well. And then when you are navigating to somewhere and it recognizes, hey, you can overtake, that the other lane would be faster, it even tells you, hey, check the mirror for traffic, and if you do, then it does the lane change automatically. You don't have to press anything. When you don't navigate, you just tap the blinker and then it does it. It also works amazingly well. What is also cool is that the car recognizes a lot around. So when you are at the stop sign, you get a message, hey, there's a stop sign. If you drive too fast, for example, and thinks you're not gonna stop, or that you have to someone else can drive before you, it says you, or at a light, which is so cool, it tells you, hey, the light just turned green, so you get a message that you drive if you can't see or you didn't pay attention. That's awesome. Let's accelerate now. I have the car in sport mode, and when I'm starting to, I will press the boost button, and then we do it. I have Draggy outside of the car, GPS measurement to measure our acceleration. Boost!
60. 100.
5.1 seconds, but it's not valid as always. It goes a bit downhill on this stretch, but I will turn around and do it on the stretch where there is no elevation change, and we can see the turning circle as well. It's okay. This time it worked, 5.19 seconds, which is interesting because a BMW number is 5.4, so it's faster than BMW says. I'm on the highway driving 135. Now I have Assist Plus. It gives me a message how this works, and this is every time, by the way. And now I can get my hands off the steering wheel. I get these green little LEDs here, but when I look away, then I get the message, hey, you're not looking. And I just tap, and it does the change. I don't have to have my hand on the steering wheel, all fine. It goes to a maximum speed of 135. Driving at 135 on the highway, very quiet, very stable, very comfortable. Even in sport mode right now, still amazingly comfortable. I like this a lot, and you get used to not having to hold the steering wheel very fast. It just happens in no time. But let's turn that off and drive a bit faster. Let's drive 150. Still quiet in here and comfortable. Yeah, even at 200, for me the steering is too hard and a bit too direct, but it works really well. The brakes are awesome, feel good, and acceleration is good. Awesome. In sport mode with the extra support here on the side, cornering, driving in a corner is really awesome. It sits very amazingly in the corners. It doesn't feel like an extremely heavy car. That's nice. And acceleration and regen and everything, it fits the sporty drive. You don't need sport mode for that, but it's really, really amazing. Now, what do you say? Is the BMW i5 any good? I think it's a good car. I'm a bit sad that it's not based on an electric platform, that you have so many negative things from the normal ICE car, like the long hood and everything. That's a bit sad, but overall it's a great car. It's not the most efficient car, but it's very comfortable. You have a lot of settings, and it sits right in between the i4 and the i7, where the i7 is extremely comfortable and the i4 is more sporty. It's right here in the middle size-wise as well. You want to have an overview of your monthly cost, all of your charging sessions and all of your trips with your EV, then Tronity is exactly what you need. With the app or with the browser, you have an overview of all of those things, and you can also see your AC to DC ratio, which is awesome. And there's also a 100% text compliant driver's logbook. A lot of vehicles are supported. Just install the app and connect to your car. My viewers get 25% off if they use the link in the description below. If you want to follow me on Instagram, BatteryLife1. If you want to support the channel, there's a Patreon link in the description below. And here on YouTube, there's also channel membership. But that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and take care. Bye.